And men confidently, boldly will say, we can have a child at any age. There's no rush for us. Men are absolute idiots.
Stephen Shaw unearthed one of the most shocking hidden truths about parenthood.
A woman turning 28 and a man turning 30 have a 50-50% chance of ever becoming parents. The point where it becomes 50-50 is 28. Now, you ask most people, they're not saying 28, they're not saying 30. A survey I did in the US put that somewhere between 35 and 40. And why is that? And I want to talk about education, I want to talk about careers, because you're right. Society's telling you to get a good education, and your peers are doing that, so it's kind of competitive out there, so it's a risk not to. And you get fun too, especially in those gap years. And you're absolutely right, you have to establish a career. The vulnerability for women here is higher, because if they don't establish a career quickly after college, it definitely becomes harder to come back. But for men too. Frankly, as a species, time is going by. And when it comes to having children, time does not wait. And men confidently, boldly will say, we can have a child at any age. There's no rush for us. Men are absolute idiots. I'm making a documentary to say, wait a minute, I'm competing with men 10 years younger than me for the same fertile woman, effectively competing with a younger version of myself. So the fact that men can technically, biologically have a child does not mean we're going to. Delaying for men, to me, is idiotic. The biggest factor, and the reason it starts so early, peaking at, around 28, is what you've just described. It's people waiting too long to find the right person and expecting 32, 33 they'll find that person. Where is she? Where is he? I've heard those words so many times. A young, attractive Japanese young woman who said to me, I was brought up to believe I'd meet my Prince Charming. Where is he?
So Stephen Shaw has been on the forefront of raising the alarm of what he calls the epidemic of unplanned childlessness. So what's the solution here? We can't control exactly when our kids find their future spouses. What we can do is be honest with this next generation. They've been encouraged to wait longer and longer to get married and have not been told that this decision to delay is also putting them at risk of the possibility of never having children. So be honest with your kids. And if you're young, don't let this kind of ignorant gaslighting deceive you into thinking you can wait forever. Wise cultures set up lots of support for couples to meet, to get married, and to stay married at a young age. It's time to rebuild that kind of pro-family, pro-child culture again.